If you have a coaching program or a consulting business and you're taking sales calls to sell to your prospects, what if I told you that taking these sales calls is actually killing your coaching or consulting business? Welcome to day 14 of the Office Turnover Challenge. I'm so excited to have you over here. If you have no idea what we are doing in this challenge, we are converting negative ROAS offers that we are running on cold meta ads to positive ROAS, where we are actually making money just through the ads. Okay, so when I started this challenge, we were sitting at 5%. My goal will be over the next 60 days to take the percentage of the positive offers to 60% at least. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how taking sales calls is actually limiting your growth or your scale opportunity, and what are the limitations you're going to be seeing moving forward, because that's exactly what we are seeing in the offers that we are running currently. Okay, so without much ado, let's dive inside of day 14. You see, there are several different offers that we have optimized today, but about the numbers and about the sales calls I have discussed in the client ML. So that will be the third thing that we will be discussing, or the last thing we are going to be discussing. But I have put in timestamps inside of this video, so you are welcome to go ahead and skip through that part. But I have learned a lot in the other offers that I have optimized today as well. So there are multiple lessons, but I just focused on one towards the end. So if you want to just skip to that part, by all means you can do that. Okay, so first we are going to be discussing TG. I did a deep dive on them, on the ads that we are already running currently. So I have just optimized and seen the different rates that we are getting currently on the ads, so how the numbers are looking, what we can change to get better results, and so on. And then for ET, I'm going to be working on, I just shared with them the fulfillment clarity with the team, because they were concerned on how to fulfill a webinar, and they had never done a webinar before. Even though I have done it before, so I have some experience, but this particular team on this project does not have an experience, so I gave them some kind of clarity. And then I gave a bigger picture to the agency. So for the agency, if you don't know, like, what we are doing inside this agency is we are running a done for you service in this agency, and we have a call funnel where we book in calls from prospects who are looking to launch courses and so on. And then what we are doing is, I shared with them the bigger picture of where we are taking that particular agency, what they can expect from it, to the entire team. I just made a video and shared with them the bigger picture, so everybody is aligned. I'm not going to dive in deeper inside of that until we have executed that, just for confidentiality purposes. But then we are going to dive inside of TG now, and then ET, and then ML. Okay, so let's get inside of TG. So TG is in the niche of growing fashion brands. So he helps brands launch their drops for the first time and make 5-6 figures. And then his course was previously priced at $997, but then he had spent a lot of money and did not get any sales. But finally, after shifting the price, because we know that we cannot sell a $997 offer upfront, I suggested that let's lower the price to $297 for now, and then later on we can raise the price once we have few people join the course. They go through the course, they get some kind of results. Later on we can change our sales strategy, but at the same time raise our prices for this particular course. Okay, so for funnel, what we have is a very simple funnel, which is the sales page and a confirmation page. So inside of the sales page, we have a checkout that people can go ahead and purchase the course, and then once they pay, they are going to go into the confirmation page. So here's how the deep dive actually looks like. Here are the ads number. The CTR is pretty good, 3.46%, and the CPC is also good. We are getting like $2, $2 clicks, and the CPM is also surprisingly low for this particular niche, which is really good. So we do not need to change anything on the ad side. On the other hand, the funnel, if we look at the funnel, we got like 182 landing page views, and then we only got 13 opt-ins. So the opt-in rate is just 7%. We can take it to 8 to 10%, or at least 15%. 12% would be the ideal number that we would want to take this opt-in rate to, and just doing that we'll be able to double the number of people opting in. But then, we out of 13 people, only one person purchased the offer, which is like 7% conversion rate. Is a purchase rate is very low. We need to have at least like 30 to 40% purchase rate. And then for the ads, we spent around $415. The revenue we got was $297. Okay, since we only sold one course of $297, so the value stack on the page is not clear. So what was happening is that when people click on the button, they would go straight to the opt-in form, right, where they have to put their name and email address. Now, whenever somebody is, even if they are convinced and they have no idea what they are actually getting, they are very curious to just opt in and see what's going on, right? What are we going to get when we purchase this particular offer, right? So that's why what I thought was all of these are just curiosity clicks. This high opt-in rate, getting 13 opt-ins, is still more or less the curiosity. And since the offer was not clear, they were having a hard time to understand what they are even purchasing in the first place, right? So based on that, I made some optimization. I shared with them that how we can optimize the opt-in rate by simply changing the value proposition in the sticky section. What we are going to do is we are going to have this particular line grab the secret behind our sold out multi 5 and 6 figure launches for fashion brands. And then we are going to do is what we are going to have as a button is yes, I'm ready for a sold out launch, right? And for value driven CTAs, we are going to have, like, we just converted the CTAs. You see, I already talked about the CTAs. What happens is, what happens is when we have a button that says join now, join now, join now, what are they joining for, right? But what we are trying to do is we are going to convert the most generic kind of buttons into something that is of value depending upon the section they are in. So if they just watch the testimonial section in our website or the sales page or the landing page, then we are gonna give them a CT or a button with that, with the same terminology, right? So we do not want to say join the program. We can say yes, I'm ready to get the same results, right? So we are going to speak their mind. Whatever they are thinking after going through one section, we are going to have them see the same thing that they're thinking on the button. And when their thoughts match, they're just going to click on it. So we are going to get more clicks on the buttons or the CTAs, right? And then for the CTA, I just showed them there are different areas that we can add CTAs, because if this was a very long sales page and we want multiple CTAs, and we do not just want one place where people have to scroll all the way in order to figure out where can I find a button to go ahead and purchase this particular offer, right? And then I just shared with them that we need to have a proper value stack section. Now what we did was, this was for to improve purchase rate, okay? So what was happening is, when, like I mentioned, when people clicked on the button, they just went to straight away the order form, right? Opt-in form, where they did not know what they were purchasing in the first place or what this academy is about. So what I did was, like, I would rather show them what they are getting before they even get a chance to opt in. So I'm going to show them the entire stack. So all of this is a stack, right? I mean, we are giving all of this away. So if they literally see in with their eyes that they are getting all of this, and they also see that when we launch this offer for everybody, it's going to be 997, but right now it's just 297. And then we are going to have our opt-in form or a two-step order form where people can go ahead and make the purchase. Then it's going to be make much more sense for people to opt in. And then only those people who have seen all of this, they want to purchase. Then when people opt in, the intention will be there for them to purchase the offer, because now they have seen the price, now they have seen all the information, they have got all the information. Even if the opt-in rate will be much lesser than before, we will still get better purchase rate in the backend, just because these are not curiosity opt-ins. Okay, and then just below that we will add a guarantee, just so people know that even if they get in, they go through everything, they do not get the results, we are going to give them the money back. Okay, so, and then I just suggested, can we just raise the budget for $75 per day? Since this is a $297 offer, the faster we can test, the better. Okay, so that's why I made all of these suggestions. Just by doing these, we will be able to see better improvements on the opt-in numbers, and the purchase rates as well. So that's TG. Okay, and then the second thing we did for the day was the fulfillment clarity for the webinar that we are going to run. So for ET, hold on. So the funnel kind of looks like $797 boot camp that he's selling. He's in career counseling niche. And then what we did was we finalized a strategy some time before. And then we just shared with them, hey, we want, if you want to sell a $797 offer, we need to be doing webinars, right? So this is a bootcamp ticket that they are going to be selling on the webinar. So here's how the flow is going to look like. They see the ad, the prospects see the ad, they register on the webinar's registration page, and then they head on to the book upsell. So we have a physical book that he is launching very soon. So I just said that, hey, we can have an upsell, a book upsell, page where people can just pre-order the books that are coming along, and they can just purchase it for $14.99. Now we agreed on that price before, so we give them an option. What this is going to do is just liquidate some part of the ads now, some part of the ad cost. Now it's not going to be like we are going to recoup all the money that we put in on the webinar registrations. Absolutely not. But if we are spending like $400, we can recover at least $100, right? And yeah, take some money home, and then at the same time get some pre-orders for the books that will again give us some testimonials for the books that we can sell in the future. Okay, so for then after they have purchased or said no to the book, they go to the webinar confirmation page. Then we give them some email reminders, SMS reminder to show up for the live webinar, which will be 90 minutes every single week. And then from the webinar, we are going to send them to the bootcamp checkout page. And then after they purchase the bootcamp ticket, they go to the bootcamp confirmation page. Okay, so then we start the onboarding. The webinar structure will be a live webinar where ET has to be on Zoom and deliver the webinar every week. Now, this will be a live webinar. So, why do we do a live webinar rather than a recorded webinar? The reason is at the beginning, we are not going to know if a webinar is converting if if we do not get any kind of results, right? If we do not even know if somebody is willing, they're willing to stay on the webinar in the first place. We have never done webinars before. Then it's going to be really difficult for us to just record a video and then let the market figure it out, right? Because that's not proven. The webinar is not proven if it's going to convert. We can waste $1,000, $2,000 on a webinar we have never tested, or we can do the live webinar every single week for like 6 weeks or 8 weeks, and then after that, what we can do is automate the webinar once we start getting at least 5 to 10% conversion rate on the webinar itself. Okay, so the outline of the webinar I have already created this before. So earlier what I did was I completed the webinar topic like 10 days before. So I just shared with them that, hey, I've already created the webinar outline. The rest is on him to fulfill, because we cannot create the slides of the webinar because he knows his topic better than we are going to know. So I just created the outline. What will be the secret 1, secret 2, secret 3. So I do it in the Russell Brunson style. If you have no idea, like go to perfectwebinarsecrets.com. And I think that is a very powerful way of creating webinars, right? And then the bootcamp structure, he already has the outline of what he is going to teach, and that's a live bootcamp as well, so we can't fulfill or fill content for that either. So what we are going to do is we are just responsible for getting people on the webinar, to have them show up on the webinar, and then he has to sell on the webinar, and then at the same time fulfill on the backend bootcamp that we are trying to sell from him for his offers, right? And then what we can do is create the webinar funnel as I have outlined as soon as possible, create the ads, the automation, and the SMS, so we can get show ups, and we are done, right? That's our job for this particular fulfillment of this client. Okay, so that's what we did for ET. Just clarified the clarified the fulfillment part, and then now let's get inside of the last one, which is ML. Okay, so for ML, what happened was, we are running. He has a senior living business, like he has people grow a senior living business, right? And he has an offer which is a SaaS offer for $397 per month. Okay, and his funnel is a book a call funnel, right? A sales page with a calendar and a downsell page where he has where people can just pay $1,000 upfront and then join a $197 per month membership, which is like a lower version of his white label GHL, right? And then he sends people to the confirmation page. That's it. Like this is how the flow is, and then he had some order clarification. He asked that, I see the call numbers have dropped. Do we need to put more ad videos? So what I said was like about testing new ads, we don't need to change anything anywhere. What I saw was the numbers have been constant for a while. So the ads look really good. They are performing very well. The CPM was around 60%. So that is also really good. We do not need to change anything on the ad side. We will add new ads after a month or when the ads start getting fatigued. Once we do that, like since we have limited time with these clients, what we are doing is we are only going to scale the ads that are working really well rather than testing multiple creatives and just burning a lot of money up front. What we are doing is we are proving the funnel is converting before we start working in long term with these clients. Okay, so what we said was, rest assured, we will keep a check on the numbers every now and then, right? So that whenever we feel a need, we are gonna start growing. Like we can ask them for new ad videos and so on. Okay, and then he asked, yesterday his show up was only 49%. Is it common that some days are going to be slow? So I said yes, absolutely. Some days are going to be really really slow. Some days are going to be way faster than the other days. So for example, we can get 90% show up rate on one day, and then we can get a 10% show up rate on day 4, right? It's just on a weekly basis. We have to track the numbers overall to see if the show up has been constant, then last week it was the same, then it's absolutely fine. Otherwise, if it's like the difference is too much from last week or last couple of weeks, or the size of the test, then definitely we need to change things. However, right now everything remains constant, like everything is looking great, so we are not going to change anything. And the update was we did get 2 sales, so that's amazing. The 2 deals that were closed was 4,194 paid upfront, and then the second deal was $1,997 paid upfront plus $397 per month, which is amazing. I mean, $397 is like $400 a month. If we are and the retention, let's say, is for 6 months, right? Or let's just say 3 months. That's like an additional $1,200, but we are not gonna count that. And we have only got the ad spend is $1,816. So the ROAS is greater than 3x. So that's amazing. That's amazing numbers. However, we only got 2 sales from 44 calls that were booked for this particular client. However, he got like multiple strong fits that are still in the pipeline. So we are not gonna know until all of them close. So what he's doing is he's not doing one call close. He's taking people, and he's doing soft pitches, and he's having second calls with those people who showed interest on the first one, scheduling the next one, and then closing on the second call, right? So even then he got like 2 sales, which is good. We are ready to scale right now. We can ramp up the numbers to like 100 calls, but the thing is, the client is a one-man team. Like he does not have team members, so it's really difficult for us to scale, because he is working on operations to scale before we ramp up the budget, right? So he needs to figure out the operations part, and figure out how to fulfill all of these clients gonna come in. So definitely congratulations to both of the team. So here's how sales calls are limiting your scale. Okay, so you see, the coach has limited time to take the calls, right? Because of course he's the coach, he has to deliver value, he has to go on the coaching calls, start giving the coaching programs, like fulfilling on the clients that are being closed. Because now he seems to be maxed out for now, this particular client ML, and asked us not to scale the campaigns until he figures out the operations. Now, even if he figures out the operations and that is completely automated, he would still need to be a part of it, because he is the mind and brain in getting the results, right? So still he is going to have limited time. Now imagine, now that he has to scale from 2 sales to 10 sales a month, or let's say a week, right? He would have to spend 5 times as much time on the calls, follow up with 5 times the leads, and keep a track of all the data. Eventually, there will be a need to bring in a sales team to scale, which he would have to manage until his team is big enough to handle a sales manager. You see, a sales manager is not going to come and work for you until and unless you have volume. Okay, now that is not something that you can outsource, like managing a sales team, until you are a very big company. And then even if you outsource to another sales agency, either they are going to be super, like they are going to ask you for a lot of money just because your volume is not too big, or even if your volume is big enough, what's going to happen is eventually, what's going to happen is eventually people are not going to like show some interest. The agency is not going to come and work with you just because your numbers are too low, right? I mean, we have had a lot of instances where people refused to come in and work with us as closers just because the numbers were not that impressive. You see, even if we get like 40 calls a week, you see 40 calls a week will have a show up rate of at least, like at this level, like 20-25 at best, when we have a very lean team of salespeople, right? And what's going to happen is, if we have that kind of scenario, then it's not it's not like attractive for a closer to come in and put their efforts into first understanding the offer and then going into going all in on all of the leads that we are getting, which is again not a lot, right? So for them it's not going to be fancy. Even if it is fancy, then we would have to manage the sales team or the sales manager and then spend a lot of money with them in commissions and so on. Okay, so we only have limited time. If the coach wants to do everything on their own, he will have limited time, which will allow him to only scale to so much level, and then he is going to cap out at that point. Okay, until then he will have to take calls and manage fulfillment himself. You see, a sales strategy has to make sense time wise, team wise, and pressure wise. By time wise, I mean it doesn't take more time to make more sales, right? The second thing is team wise, doesn't require management of for a huge team of, let's say, 20 30 people, 100 people of sales people in there, right? And the third thing is pressure wise, it has to make sense. You see, soft sell versus hard sell on a sales call. What we also found from this particular client, that he was very reluctant in doing a hard sales or closing on one call itself, just because he wasn't a salesman, right? Because he's gonna think, okay, I do not want to push my leads, I want to make sure that they're comfortable before they even invest with me. That's absolutely fine, that's not wrong at all. But at some point it will not be scalable, because just imagine if we had 100 triage calls booked, which is like first call, first 15-20 minute discovery calls, then out of those calls, let's say 20 people are going to reschedule for the next call or the second call, right? And then we will still have 100 triage calls next week as well. So it's just going to stack on one another, and it's going to sabotage our growth completely. So if we are doing soft selling, however, when we are soft selling in a different way, it gets sales easily without pressuring the leads. Okay, when we are soft selling, but on a sales call, it's like we have to go all in, because we do not want to manage a huge team managing another team that is doing triage calls, as well as the second calls, the sales calls as well. So all of these different issues, so a sales strategy has to be time wise, it has to make sense time wise, team wise, and pressure wise. Okay, so what is the solution? The solution is 3 day or 5 day challenge. Now think of a 5 day challenge or 3 day challenge as a virtual event, where we bring all the prospects who are eager to find a solution to a particular problem. Once we have them inside of this room, we will have them pay to even show up on the web on the challenge, so on this particular virtual event, right? So we are going to be spending 1 hour a day into delivering value to these people who have paid $97 to $97 to be on the call. And then we are going to also spend 1 extra hour with the VIP members who have paid $297. So two levels, right? And once we have these people in a room, we give them value for 5 days or 3 days, and then towards the end we make an offer of a premium value offer, which is like 5,000, 10,000, $25,000 offer. And then we are going to see people paying for it. You see, I personally had a client that we worked with, right? And he was a public speaker. And then the first time we did a challenge for him, right? He went all in on marketing. It was a disaster. It was my first time doing a challenge with anybody as well. But we got like 700 something leads, but then we only got 11 people to sign up for the challenge. And when we got 11 people to sign up for the challenge, they paid to join the challenge, right? And when they paid to join the challenge, all of them showed up for the 5 day virtual event. Like, they were present on the calls, they were present throughout the calls, because they paid for it. And when they did that, towards the end, when my client made a pitch, he got so many different sales coming in. I'll give you a number and you're going to be amazed. 11 people were on the call, and he made $55,000 in cash collected, with $155,000 in revenue. He got two people who showed up on that challenge, who were like from a corporate organization, and they were like, we want to hire you to train our corporate employees, right? And they signed a corporate gig with him, and he made $70,000 from one of them, $50,000 from another one of them, $20,000 from another student who signed up for his mentorship, and then the other one were 3K offers, which all summed up together, he made $155,000 in revenue and $55,000 in cash collected, which was amazing, right? And just through challenges. And I have had multiple clients who have hit six figures with challenges without spending more time. So here's how it makes sense time wise. You see, in order to grow our sales, we don't need to invest more than 10 hours. All we need to do is have more people in the challenge. So, for example, if we have 10 people in the challenge, we're going to get one sale or two sales. If we have 100 people, we are going to get 10 to 20 sales. If we have 400, 500 people, we are going to get 30, 40 sales, right? If we have 1000 people, we are going to have much more sales coming in, right? I mean, all of this depends upon the price of the offer, but all we need to do to make more sales is to get more people in the room. That's it. We do not need to spend more of our time. Our time is only 10 hours for that particular week, one time a month. That's it. Even if we do this every single month, we'll still be able to benefit from it, just because we are not sacrificing time to make money. How does it make sense team wise? You see, we are delivering the same content on every challenge every month, right? And there's only one person who is required to manage the community and manage the Zoom meetings, where people are going to come in, they are going to allow people to join the Zoom room. That's it. I mean, just one or maximum two people can handle an entire challenge, right? How does it make sense pressure wise? You see, on a challenge, we do not make hard pitches, we do not get people on one calls. So it's more like, hey, if this makes sense to you, go ahead and purchase it, buy it. I'm going to see you on that bootcamp or the challenge or the next offer that I have created for you. We are going to see you inside that, right? Nothing else. It's a very soft selling opportunity where you just walk on, deliver value towards it, and you make an offer. If it makes sense for people to buy, they buy. If they do not, if it doesn't make sense for them to buy, they're not gonna buy, and it's absolutely fine, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you only invested so much time of yours, and you are still able to create a payday for yourself. Okay, so now you would be asking, then Muzahid, why do you strategize or optimize sales calls for these clients inside of this office turnover challenge? You see, there are two major reasons. The first reason is, in most cases, the strategy were formed before I joined this particular project, so that's why I'm like, that's what has been going on. So I just optimized it to get better results. Second thing is, the contracts with the clients are not long term for now, right? Challenge is a long term game. So you see, you cannot expect to do your first challenge and make six figures. That's not going to happen. Even if you make five figures on the first challenge, or even multiple five figures, the next time you do the challenge, you'll be better at speaking, you'll be better at selling, and you will also be better at giving value, right? And once you do that, you will also understand that how can I bring more people inside of this room. So you're going to crack a lot of codes while you're doing the challenge consistently every single month. So when you do that, only then you're going to start seeing really, really good results coming in, because again, all you have to do is have more people in the room to start selling more of your coaching programs in the back end. You do not need to have spend more of your time to make more money. Okay, so that's how sales calls are actually killing your business, but then this method will allow you to not sacrifice your time for money. Okay, I hope this entire video was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments what was your best takeaway. For me personally, it was to again realize how amazing challenges are and how it can be really transformative for any coach out there who's looking to sell premium value offers or offers at all. Okay, so definitely go ahead and put in the comment section what was the best takeaway. I'll be more than happy. I would love to see what you're taking away from all of these videos, and I'm going to see you on the next one. Until then, keep creating for a change.